I'm Frazer Clarke, and this is every tattoo on my body. So all in all, I have 4 tattoos. Muhammad Ali playing Monopoly on my arm with the Thriller Manila. That was the first one. Then I have the David Jason tattoo on my left leg. Marvin Hagler on my bicep. And the last one is my most favorite. It's the David Jason signature. My first tattoo on my left arm was Muhammad Ali playing Monopoly. And also Muhammad Ali in his fight with Joe Frazier. And out of pain, it was a solid 9 out of 10. Why the Monopoly board? I'm not very good at Monopoly. Someone said this to me, well, someone said Monopoly is very much like life. You either get rich and live well, or sometimes you make the wrong decision and you end up in jail. The build up to getting the tattoo, I had a bad decision in boxing, my inspiration was a bit down, and I thought, you know, if I do have a tattoo, maybe it can be something that I draw inspiration from. I think I paid like $220 per half day, so I ended up being about 440 quid, something like that. Oh, my nerves. I borrowed some numbing cream off a friend and they told me, with this on, you're not gonna feel a thing. Obviously it started stinging 6 long hours, which felt like 3 days, and it was painful, but at the time, I was so proud of it, you know. I don't advise it. I'm not massive on them, and people say, some people say they don't hurt, which I just don't understand. They not feel pain because I think they kill. Listening to some of his inspirational words and watching him on YouTube and stuff like that, definitely felt the right thing to do. And yeah, there's been some difficult times in the sport, and you look at people like this who've been through, you know, adversity themselves through their life and through their career. So it's a little bit of inspiration on my arm. So the other tattoo, well, it's the same one, it's sort of merged into one, is Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier, the Thriller Manila. Yeah, it's, like I say, these tattoos need a little bit of freshening up, but like I said, I know what they are, and they hold a great meaning, an amazing fight, a classic fight, one that will live in the memories of boxing fans forever. They inspire me, they inspire a lot of other people, and the words, you know, I've got the champ is here on my arm, and yeah, that's just always something I want to be a champion, you know, that's my goal, that's my aim. And you know, like I say, these guys are icons. One of the gutting features about this tattoo is I actually got a burn on there, which was half taken away Muhammad Ali's face. It's only a little one, it wasn't too dramatic, but yeah, I actually leant on a machine, and it had been used, it was hot, the metal surface, yeah, put a burn on my arm. So I do think if I let it heal properly, it can be rectified. But yeah, for a minute, he's got a bit of a scar on his face. The tattoo I've got with the deepest meaning is, it's more of a tribute than anything. It's a picture of the one and only marvelous Marvin Hagler. I got this 2021, just after he passed away. It's a portrait of him with his world title and marvelous underneath it. This tattoo, it means a lot, and it's a great reminder to myself about this man's career, you know, what a fighter. I think if one day boxing and boxers had more characters like this and more fighters like this, it'd definitely be a better sport. Such a ferocious, hard-working, dedicated fighter who had to go through so much adversity to get his shots and to become world champion. He was one of them people that I've often watched, and I often watch him before my fights because he just motivates me that much. You know, like I say, he did everything the hard way, and he had to persevere and persevere to get to where he needed to get. When you listen to the story and you really dig deep into his career, you know, for him to get a world title, it was such an outside shot. He had to do it the hard way. He had to go through so much controversy, racism, so many bad decisions almost. It was like they was trying to not let him become a world champion, but he wouldn't be denied, and that was his character. And I think if I can take some of them characteristics, you know, into my career, it would definitely put me in good stead. So, marvelous Marvin Hagler, what a legend, great fighter, and a great inspiration to myself, and again, a lot of other fighters. I think this took, again, probably about 8 hours. And the most painful tattoo I've had, actually, on the inside of the arm. I wouldn't recommend it, very painful. But again, with this one, it's definitely worth it, because when I look at this, it definitely inspires me. When things get hard now and then, I've got Marvin Hagler on my arm, and I think, you know what would Marvin Hagler do? And he'd work hard, he'd work through it. So I think I paid for this one probably about $350 for the session, and I went back to get it touched up a little bit. When I do find the courage, I'm definitely gonna go back for more. It's just finding that courage. So my favorite tattoo is my David Jason Del Boy Only Fools and Horses tattoo on my left leg. I had this after a decision in Russia when I was boxing. I boxed a guy called Maxim Babinin. I beat him and I was in the change room celebrating, and for the first time in a long time, an official came up to me and my team and spoke to us and told us that the decision was going to a review, which has not been heard of. This is 2019. And then before I knew it, the decision had been overturned and I was heartbroken. This would have been such a big moment in my life, you know, to guarantee a world medal was going to be massive for me, you know, to end up in the world championship final was such a big thing for me. It never happened and I was really upset, really upset. You know, in my down days and a lot of down moments in my life, the thing that really spurred me on and keeps me happy, puts a smile on my face every time, is Only Fools and Horses. Hence why in them couple of down days I had when I got back, again, it was sort of a spur of the moment thing. I booked in the next day, I was sat on the bed, and yes, there we had it. We had Doughboy on my leg, which I'm very proud of, you know, someone that's got me through a lot of dark times in my life, the program as a whole and the character as a whole, someone who I absolutely love. And yeah, I think myself and so many other people, especially in Britain, can relate to, and definitely give us a lot of good times. And with the Doughboy tattoo, I recently was fortunate enough to meet him and actually approached him with a pen and a bit of a strange request. I asked him to sign my leg so I could get it tattooed. I was invited to a Only Fools and Horses convention probably about 6 months ago now, and I was there, and you know, I met this guy that was so genuine and so down to earth. Yeah, he took a lot of interest in my career and what I do, and we spoke dead openly for probably 20 minutes about my boxing and my career and my day-to-day life, and I was just taken back by, you know, the fact that he had such an interest in me. And you know, we spoke about coming to watch me fight in the future and stuff like this. All the cats were so lovely, but I took the opportunity to give him a pen and said, "Can you please sign my leg?" The idea just came to me, and he said, "Yeah, no worries." So he put the signature on it. It was a Sunday afternoon, so I made some phone calls. I had to prop the leg up in the car on the way back so I didn't smudge it. We got back, I got booked into the tattoo artist, and yeah, I had the signature, David Jason's signature, right above the picture. There was no way I was losing that moment. I wouldn't have been getting showered, no bath. Basically, that tattoo was staying. That signature was staying on there until someone could tattoo it. I think if I had the decision now, I don't think I'd get them again. But I might end up with more, do you know what I mean? But I think at the time, they were in. You know, there was a time when they were really in, do you know what I mean? And I just sort of maybe followed fashion and followed suit. You know, everyone in your age group, your peers, everyone's getting covered in them. David Beckham, he had a big impact on the world with tattoos, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? He got covered. As soon as he did it, everyone started doing it. You know, I can remember at one point when I was young, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to get the angel on my back. And I thought, oh my God, I've got to get a big back. It's going to cost a lot of money if we get that. If I get the Olympic rings tattooed, I want to do it a bit different. If I do it, I don't just want the rings. I think if I do it, I'm going to go all out, and I'm probably going to go on my back. But I won't just have the tattoos. I think I'd have tattoos, and I'll have the rings, and I will have something that symbolises Tokyo, the area I was in. I got a lot of beautiful pictures and photos when I was there. The Tokyo Dome, you know, we got the arena that we actually boxed in. It's just some fantastic photos that I took. So when I do get that tattoo, you know, it's going to be a big one. So I need to toughen up and get ready for that pain. I like the idea of getting my kid's name tattooed on me. Again, I don't like the pain. It would have to be a really crazy day to just have a feeling and possibly go and get them tattooed on me. But you know, my kids are in my heart no matter what, so they don't need tattooing on me. But I think maybe one day, you know why? Just because, and especially whilst I'm still boxing, because they like it, the fact that they're on the shorts, you know, when I fight. So I think if I get them on my arm, then they're there forever. And you know, no matter what pair of shorts we've got on with their name on them, I think it's even better if they're on the arm.